Welcome back to the office at Whitetail Ridge, everyone. And a while back, I had done a video with my generator, this Predator generator, pertaining to my grow watt inverter because I was having a hard time getting it to sync up because it was just running too high on the, oh man, what do they call it? On the hertz on the generator. When you'd fire the generator up and run it and actually check the settings inside the house on the inverter, the grow watt inverter, it would be running pretty close to 70 hertz. And there's usually a plus or minus 5 hertz on these things to get them kind of in the groove. And it was running around 70, 71, so it was a little bit high. And naturally, the first thing I thought was like, well, let's go turn the idle down on my generator, but it seemed like I couldn't get it. It was too fine of an adjustment, and the adjustments that were available on the particular Predator generator we have right here, the 9,000 watt, it just could not get it in tight enough. And so I went from there, and I was just using a hair dryer or a heavy load, whatever it was, to kind of drag the generator into position as far as the RPMs went, and that worked just fine. But as time went on here for the next couple months or so, it seemed like this generator was still just winding up a little bit higher than what it should have been. And, you know, I knew something was going on, but I had something in place that was working for me. So I'd assume that I am not the first person to have this issue. And last night I decided, well, I've got some time. Let me run out here and see if I can get this figured out. So I start messing around with the governor and all the idle and everything like that and adjusting it. And I realize, well, you know, this isn't really working. So I'm going to try and, you know, back this governor in where it needs to be, tighten it up a little bit. And as I'm doing that, I get looking down in here. And if you look at this carburetor and the throttle adjustment, you see that little groove right there, and you see that silver part inside? That's the governor rod that comes over to help keep your RPMs balanced out. And I looked at that and I was like, well, man, that looks normal. That's supposed to be there. But upon further inspection, that is not supposed to be there. That little groove right there in the edge, you can see the silver. That wore in from the end of that rod right there, from kicking back and forth as the governor was adjusting. And that, ladies and gentlemen, it was the whole issue as to why it was over revving, because it would actually allow that rod to come out the other side and it would hook on it and it would hold the RPMs up. So last night I came out here, and after adjusting everything and looking around, and I'm like, well, what do I got to fix it right now? And the only thing I could come up with was a bread tie. But I took this bread tie and I took it off of here just so I could show you that slot that was cut in there. But I wrapped that bread tie in there, and I just went underneath right here and brought it up, back and around. This is really hard to do with one hand, but I'm going to try and get it in there to kind of show you. If not, I'm sure you all are smart enough individuals that if this has happened to you, you can go ahead and do it. But I got it in there like that and around the bottom and had it twisted into place right there, just like that. And obviously it was tightened up, but that little bit of pressure against it right there on that slot was all that it took in order to keep that rod adjusted properly. And it brought my generator right back in, and all of my typical settings that I could adjust with, be it the governor and the idle screw and everything is back to normal. And the only bad thing about it is that particular part, I'll go show you it again right here. From the looks of things, to the best of my knowledge and ability anyway, I don't believe that you can replace just that little, it's like a throttle flapper or something like that. I don't believe you can just replace that, because looking at that metal piece in top, it looks like it's pressed on. and pretty much that you would have to buy an entire new carburetor in order to fix that, which is not really a big deal. The carburetor, the stock replacement carburetor for these particular machines, while it's not necessarily a low dollar price, for $79.99, I believe is what it was, is not too bad of a deal. So it looks like the real way to fix it is going to be getting a new carburetor and going from there. However, I think I'm going to stick with the bread tie method until I absolutely need a carburetor, but I'll probably get one on the shelf and have it just in case. But either way, if your Predator 9000 or really any generator is revving up high and you can't seem to get it dialed in, go ahead and check that little flapper right there, and I'd about guarantee you that it's worn in. I mean, it's just cheap plastic as it is. So either way, thanks for watching. Hope this helps somebody out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share if you don't mind. Have an amazing day, everyone.